Hello everybody, welcome back to Max Reviews, and today we just came out with a new Cheaper by the Dozen movie, so it's time to rank all 3 Cheaper by the Dozen movies. Welcome everybody back to Max Reviews. This is a bit more of an interesting sort of ranking because I sort of grew up on the first 2 Cheaper by the Dozen movies. They were like the main sort of family films that I used to watch as a kid, so I'm a bit biased on that. It's not exactly fair because I've been watching the other ones for I'd say about 10 years now, maybe a bit longer, and the new one I've just seen for a couple days now. So anyway, I'm just going to rank them. So coming in third place here is going to be the new Cheaper by the Dozen that came out 2022. I don't exactly hate this movie. I gave it a 4 out of 10, but I don't exactly love it either. It's just sort of fine. It's pretty generic. I don't see why it's known as Cheaper by the Dozen. Why did they have to reboot this? Because other than some small plot things and there being a family in 12 instead of having 12 kids, that's it has no relation to the other Cheaper by the Dozen movies. And even if it wasn't Cheaper by the Dozen, I would still be like, I'd be a bit more happy if it wasn't Cheaper by the Dozen because there's no real reason for it to be like this. This isn't as bad as like Home Sweet Home Alone from last year with Disney, but it's not as good as something that I'd like Disney Plus to be giving me. But you know, there's still a few fine things here and there. There's some cool character interactions, and then there's a couple scenes that made me chuckle a little bit. It's not a horrible film in any regards. It just pretty generic, not super amazing. It wasn't for me, but it was fine. I don't hate it. So just and so it's not horrible. It's fine. There wasn't a whole bunch of notable cast members here. I was thinking maybe they'd get somebody a bit bigger than these actors to be doing this stuff, but you know, well. Coming in second place here is going to be Cheaper by the Dozen 2. This is just the sort of fun movie that I really wanted, where you have the entire family going to a little vacation and they meet his old rival there. And with this sort of thing going on, you have this rivalry between these two families, between the dads mostly, but the rest of the families are sort of like, hey, chill out, dad. But this is just a fun movie. It's a lot better than the new Cheaper by the Dozen movie that we got, and I would say it's like right around the same level as the original Cheaper by the Dozen movie. All the cast here is great. Steve Martin does a great job once again. I just have a fun time with this movie. You have the little races. You have the sweet moments in there where the entire family comes together. And you also have that chaos going on where you see this is an insane family, crazy, and it feels like an actual family. Me and my family go on vacation every single year. And it's not as chaotic as this because we are half the amount of family that they are, half the amount of kids. But still, it is a bit chaotic in the car and just the vacation, all these elements. It's fun. It's cool. I enjoy it. There's some funny sequences in here. I am biased towards these films. This is totally like a bit unfair when you're having this new movie, which I haven't. It's just fine. And I don't know what other people really think about this movie, the second one. I have a fun time with these movies. Even though, like, I was rewatching them and they got elements of dogs ripping guys' underwear because they smell like meat, or people throwing up in the middle of the movie, just stuff that I didn't realize before. They're lowered a bit, but I still enjoy these first 2 movies. There's just some fun sequences in here when you have the daughter giving birth while they're in the middle of a race and they gotta race to the hospital. There's just a bunch of sweet moments in there too. Just a nice movie. But coming in at number 1 here is going to be Cheaper by the Dozen, the original. It was just really nice to rewatch this movie. I have a ton of fun with it. It has a sweet just ending to a sweet movie, even though it is just the family hijinks. You have Steve Martin where he's not exactly going all out crazy like he can do. It's not a Jim Carrey over the top performance by him. It's just him doing regular stuff. The sort of story by itself isn't as interesting as you have the entire family, him getting a bigger job. They move to a different house, and the wife's got to move away, got to go away for a few weeks because she's got the publishing thing to do for a new book, Cheaper by the Dozen. So he's got to coach a football team and take care of his 12 kids. So it's a pretty insane situation where he's just in over his head, and just there's little gags in this movie and little fun stuff that I always have a fun time with the chandelier continually falls throughout the movie. You have some nice cast here with a younger Hilary Duff, who was sort of the teen supermodel or whatever at the time. It's a sort of reflection of the time with early 2000s, as you have like the old computer and stuff. So it's not exactly 100% dated, but there are elements in there where you're like, yeah, that was from a while ago. All the kid casting, they're so great at what they do. Every single kid, all a dozen of them. I really enjoy the casting and stuff. The bloopers at the end are really funny. I just have a ton of fun watching this entire movie. So it comes in at number 1. Leave your comments down below if you've seen the Cheaper by the Dozen movies, and if you have, how you would rank them. And give that point of reference how long you've been watching them. Have you never seen them? Just what you thought of this video. Like, subscribe to Max Reviews. Thank you for watching, everybody. Braden out.